So we get home a couple months later, and class gets an email. He forwards me this email from this guy, this fan that came to the show and was like, yo, man, thank you and Jordan for making this song, Feeling Fine. You know, my mom was dying of cancer, and she made me put it on a CD and put it on the CD 11 times in a row so she could hear it all the time and made her feel good.
And this gave me shivers,
that's
bro.
like, yeah. So that's the win, right? So I can't. Every time that somebody asks a question like that, that has to be it because it's not, bro. Like it's like
That's
the whole point of music.
That's
really,
it, man.
right?
You make somebody you make somebody comfortable while they're going.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
it. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the RnB podcast. Today, as always, we got a special guest in the building, Jordan, spelled JRDN.
No vowels, man. Not a big fan of the vowels.
You guys may know him for his smash hits, Magic, You Can Have It All, Hanging Tree, and the list goes on. So what's going on, man?
I got to cut you off there because Hanging Tree is actually not my record.
It's not?
Nah, it's not my record. It's like the producer, we got the same name, and it's been on my Spotify for months.
No
and
way.
I haven't got it pulled down yet. But I ain't mad at it, though.
Yo, I got a lot of...
I know, that's what I'm saying. I ain't mad because it's bringing some traffic, but I got to get that shit taken down.
No
okay, go ahead.
way.
My bad, Carlo. Go ahead.
Well, shout him out anyway.
You already Hanging Tree. You already know.
He got you some monthly...
some listeners. That's
crazy. Right. So we were talking before. You were saying that you're from Halifax. So how did you end up in Toronto, first and foremost?
Toronto. Okay, so, yeah, born in Halifax, and my parents moved to Jane and Finch when I was 9 months old.
Yeah.
So I spent about 10 years there and then moved back to Halifax, spent about, good 12 years and then came back to Toronto. So I've lived in Toronto half my life and Halifax half my life.
And what's the difference between Toronto and Halifax? I'm sure there's a lot, but like...
Small city. Halifax is a small city.
Yeah.
Well, now it's changed a bit because there's like a lot of different cultures, a lot of different ethnic backgrounds, a lot of people coming in from different countries, African, Syrian, Lebanese. There's just it's back then though when I moved back. The difference I would say is that Toronto's such a multicultural city.
Of course.
So there's I had my best friend was Jamaican, Chinese, Indian. Like I had from every culture. I had friends from every culture. But when I moved back to Halifax, I moved to the hood and it was just black folk. My mom was one of two white women in the whole hood. You know what I mean? So that was a difference for me. And of course, it's just a small city, big city.
How about the music scene? What's the
music
difference?
scene, bro? It's
was there one even around your time as well?
Yeah, definitely was. So like the music scene out there, there's like, for me, when I first moved out there, that's when I first got inspired to do music. But before I left, there was, I lived in Jane and Finch, and King Louis from the Dream Warriors. That was like he used to babysit me. I was, he used to teach me how to break dance and stuff. But I moved to Halifax, and then I was watching much music, and much played a video of my hood from MCJ and Cool G. It was like, so there was rappers back, MCJ and Cool G, they had a big hit, Soul Listen back in the day, shout out to them. And I saw that, and I'm like, all right, I want to do this shit. I kind of got that bug, and then I found Babyface and started singing. So, but the music scene out there, there's a lot of dope artists now that are coming up. But the one thing is just the development hasn't been the greatest, and the infrastructure hasn't been the greatest out there.
Of course.
Is there like an artist upcoming right now that's like making some noise?
Yeah, Quake Matthews. Quake Matthews is on fire. He just did Sway in the Morning recently.
That sounds very familiar.
Yeah, that's my little bro. That's like he's been going crazy. Like he's been going crazy since he was 14, and he's like, to me, one of the dopest MCs, lyricists, writers in hip hop out in the East Coast in Nova Scotia.
That's crazy.
And he just did Sway in the Morning and killed it. He did like a 6-minute freestyle.
What do the 5 fingers? Is it the 5 Fingers of Death? Is that on
No, he
Sway
didn't do the fight. I think that is, but he didn't do that. Sway, because what happened was Mercules did Sway. He ran into Sway and did like in an airport, and Sway was like, and he did Sway, and he's like, yo, you got to check Quake. He was like, who's the other Canadian cats?
Yeah.
So Mercules kind of put Sway on to Quake.
Dope.
And then it was during the pandemic, and he went on. Sway was doing that bedroom freestyle shit.
Yeah,
right. Yeah.
So Quake went on there, and he's like, "Yeah, Mercules told me that, you know what I mean." So, and then he's like, "Yo, as soon as this shit lifts and the pandemic's over, I want you to come on." So he followed up with his word. Quake went down to New York, and he did his thing. But Quake's been doing his shit for a lot, his thing for a lot. He's like been in the game for a minute. Drake rates him. A lot of big MCs like Budden, Royce, they all fuck with.
He's straight like bars?
He's bars, bro. He's
bars?
giving you metaphors and bars like crazy. Yeah. And he's, in Freeway from Philly, he's got like numerous joints with him. you know, a lot of real MCs and spinners from the US fuck with Quake. He just
I'm gonna have to check him out.
yeah,
so.
bro. Quake Matthews, bro. Check him out. He's crazy.
I definitely will.
Why and how did you start music? Like, give me a story on that.
All right, so
Well, you were saying you saw like you were watching much and
I was well. That's how like I kind of got into it. But this is the real. I always forget about this one piece of the story. And I went to Fir Grove Public School in Jane and Finch. Like I lived in the Connections, and my music class, Rafi came to the school one day. He was like, "Yo, we want to audition some of these kids to be on my album." You know, Rafi, the children's singer. So literally came in and. He picked our class to go to a studio and record. So that was my first initial time being in the studio and being like, this was cool. There's Skittles, video games everywhere. Like,
was it like a legit studio?
Yeah, it was a legit studio. It was like, you know what I mean?
So you must have, your
I was just
dropped when you walked in
I
there,
was just like, yo, and he's a kid singer. So it's like, he sings children's music. So it's like, he had that shit set up. It was like a little friggin' like arcade. And like, you know what I mean?
That's crazy.
Like, it was dope. So like, that was my first experience in the studio. But I always forget that because what the most important one is my brother. And I mean, that was when I got that itch. I knew I loved like singing, but but it always seems to just fly by my mind because my brother, when we moved back to Halifax, he had a collection of CDs and he bought them in like 85, 86 when CDs first came out. It was like $35, $40 a CD. He had like 3,000 CDs and he's like, yo, don't touch my fucking CDs. You know what I mean? When I go to work, don't touch my shit. And I fucking found Babyface and I learned this song Sunshine and I just learned it and I started singing. That's when I was like, I heard myself, and this is when I first moved to Halifax.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like every older sibling always used to get like cheesed when the younger sibling would use like their records or just or MP. I used to get in shit because I used to take my sister's Walkman all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's like, you know, but now in retrospect we think about it and we look back and we're like, man, thank God for that because they were putting us on to the. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the music, like my voice is the way it is because my brother was playing soul music all the time. He was playing the best, you know what I mean, soul singers and like the best R&B singers, and you know what I mean. If I never heard that all day and fucking vocalists like Whitney Houston and shit, he was a huge fan of Whitney. You know what I mean? If I never heard that shit, I wouldn't probably have the voice I do today.
Yeah.
Well, you told me a story at the studio one time. You're like, I forgot the song because I tried to tell him the other day. You told me she was teaching you how to sing like back then.
Dutch Robinson.
What was
Shout
that song
out to
called?
Dutch Robinson. Roller coaster.
Yeah, bro, that's why. Yeah.
So the Ohio Players.
Wait, that guy was teaching.
So the lead singer of the Ohio Players, like
crazy.
my only vocal lesson I've ever had was from Dutch Robinson of the Ohio Players.
That's fucking sick, man.
And it was like after I did my album with Classified. Shout out to Class. That's the homie. After I did my first album with Classified, Dutch heard it and he's like, "No, Jordan, you're singing all wrong. Just come to the house and let's fix this." Like an OG, like literally like, and I'm like, all right, you know. And I went over. He just taught me a couple of vocal warm ups, a couple of training things, how to protect my voice, and to this day I still haven't had a vocal lesson. I've been just going off of that and just get strengthened in my voice, you know, just by using it. It's like a muscle. You use it, you're gonna get stronger. You keep using it.
That's pretty much the only way that's gonna work, to be honest with you, right?
Exactly.
No, I was just that's funny because we were just talking in the car the other day, and I was telling him, I was like, if you use less of your nose and more of your diaphragm,
your diaphragm,
then
that's what he taught me how to strengthen that.
Exactly.
That's he only taught. He's like, I'm gonna give you 1-2 little tricks, and he gave me that, and this is like, all right, so now I know, like, you know what I mean, and that's the key. People
you know
don't
who Liberty Silver is by any chance?
Who's it?
Liberty Silver?
No.
Anyway, she was like a Juno nominated from a long time ago though.
Okay.
Anyway, she had taught me a couple lessons on how to like
stuff.
use diaphragm and stuff, and it actually helped out a lot.
Man, I'm telling you,
because like I was using my throat more than the diaphragm, and I noticed that like maybe like half an hour into the recording session, I was losing the power to sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's why it's funny because we were just talking about that recently.
Word. Yeah. Man.
The pop scene and the R&B scene. How was that during your come up? Like, how like obviously now in Toronto is like
it was on fire,
the forefront of the music industry. Back then, was it kind of harder to prove yourself? Like, how was it? How was it back in that time?
I kind of, man, to be honest, like I was lucky because at the time there wasn't an abundance of artists. You feel me? Like. And when I came into the game, like I was telling you earlier, Glenn Lewis, Ray Robinson, those were the R&B cats that, you know, I was looking up to and that I was seeing, you know, doing their thing, and it was like they inspired me. But at the time I was playing ball.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like, but for the pop stuff, it was like, you know, Fifi Dobson. There was like, different kind of angles in the Sean Desmond, Keisha Shante killing the pop R&B stuff, which was dope. And so like I hooked up with Kuya, my producers, and they were like really soulful R&B guys that, brought me into their camp, and we did some pop lanes because I was a younger artist at the time, and it's just like, okay, we want him to sing pop. Like I was singing hood shit, and like I was writing hood shit back then, but the labels didn't want that shit.
You were rapping?
No, not rapping, but I was just singing about,
hood shit.
Yeah, I was singing hood shit. I had records that were like, a little grimier and stuff back then, but the labels didn't want that shit. So their favorite songs that they wanted to put as my singles I hated those songs. It wasn't I didn't hate them. I recorded them, so I couldn't have hated them. But it was like, this is not what I want to represent coming into the R&B game, and that's why it's important. I always tell artists, man, make sure you put your best foot forward and what you want to sound like. You know what I mean? Because now I'm circling back and I'm working on a pop album. Feel me? Because I haven't done it, because I've been like, fucked up in my head about it so long. Like, I don't want to do pop, but the music is the music, and it's the voice we were talking about earlier. It's the voice that carries the song. So I feel like I can do any genre, but I'm kind of getting back into that pop, like kind of touching to my like Caribbean roots a little bit as well,
That's the thing though. That's what's going to make you unique, right? Because it's like, you're going to be able to do that pop record. I'm not going to be able to do it.
Word.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Having that wide range.
Yeah, exactly. 100%.
Yeah.
No, that's crazy.
How's that feeling? Because I'm just curious to know, like, one of your first songs blowing up, you're seeing a crazy reaction.
Which one though?
I'm just saying one of his first. I don't know which one blew up first.
What was the first initial?
You Can Have It All. Well, okay, You Can Have It All. But before that, I had Feeling Fine with Class on radio in Canada.
Okay.
And that was in 2006. So that, and fast forward 6 years later, You Can Have It All drops, and that went crazy.
Yeah.
But then Like Magic was the one the poppy one that really hit the radio in Canada, and was like the 2012, I think, was the number one R&B pop record spun at Canadian radio.
Yeah.
So like that was Bieber at the time had singles out. Drake had singles
out. I remember, bro, that song used to play all the time.
Yeah, that was like, and it was like I won a Canadian award for it. So it was dope. You know what I mean? Like to be on that, to be in Canada and the biggest artist in the world, and I'm like competing with them at that time.
It's almost surreal.
It's like,
How was that feeling though? Like, was it just in the moment that you didn't even take it in? Did you take it in? Like, you know what I mean? So
yeah, no, it was dope. I didn't take it in the moment because like I was so in it, and I was just so focused on trying to get to the next step. Because so it's like I just like I'm a competitor, and like nothing really impresses me. You know what I mean? I can't even impress myself. Yeah. So it's like you know what I mean? It's like, okay, and accolades are cool, and you like winning that shit, but it's like, okay, what's next? I'm beating these guys out, but they're winning Grammys. So
exactly.
You know what I mean? We're in Canada. Exactly. It's a totally different thing. So
that's why I feel like you set your goals, right, and then once you reach them, you use them as a platform to set new goals. So
You don't
really take anything in right in the moment. But I'm sure, like, how do you feel about it now, looking back?
Oh,
like,
man, it was awesome.
That was crazy.
It's awesome,
right?
Yeah, bro. It's fucking like it's a part of like my journey, and it's actually a part of the history in music in Canada. I'm 100% part of that.
Did you won a Juno off of that? No?
Yeah, I won a Juno off of my second project with Kuya. So it was an EP I did, self-titled JRDN, and it was a Can't Choose record. The Juno.
What was the award for?
Soul Recording of the Year. And see, the same thing we're talking about, The Weeknd was in that category same year.
Jeez,
you know what I mean?
that's
so
crazy.
like, but it's like, look, he's the biggest artist in the world, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the time, it's like, I was, and that's what keeps me going too. It's like, we're competing with
you were
these
competing
guys.
with those guys.
Yeah,
of course.
But it's like, I give them their flowers. They're fucking amazing. I'm huge fans.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But that's like my motivation. Like I was once right in that running with you until you guys went crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's how the game is. But that's why I'm still doing it.
Of course, yeah.
Plus
you have a love for it too, obviously, right?
Yeah.
So you can't.
Oh yeah, hell yeah. I didn't
get to congratulate you on your Juno, by the way. So congratulations.
Appreciate it.
How many years ago was that? It must have been like
2014. So that was
Yeah, that's a while ago. Time flies, eh?
Yes, sir.
That's nuts, man.
Time flies for real.
Yeah.
If you don't mind saying, like, who would you say was like instrumental to your career, that like really pushed you to where you are today and stuff like that?
Like somebody, as somebody like
it could be like someone in the industry, family member.
Instrumental or detrimental?
Instrumental.
What's instrumental?
Okay, that's the wrong word.
It's detrimental.
Detrimental. Okay,
Yeah.
sorry. Detrimental.
It's all right. We got it. I understood it. I understood what you were saying though.
Important to my career, my mom, bro.
Yeah.
My mom,
number one supporter.
and my pop. Like I had good people within the music, but it's like when you say people, that's why I asked like, what do you mean like music or like somebody I know, or it's my parents, man, because when whatever I was passionate about, they let me do it. They were like,
that's how parenting should be, though.
Yeah. Oh,
right?
That's what you want to do? Okay, no, don't do your chores. I got the chores. You need to go out and go shoot 1,000 more shots before you come in. Yeah. So I give it up to them, because even to this day, like, I've had some success, but I haven't had the success that I know that one day I can achieve. Mm-hmm. But they have never steered me wrong from that. Yo, keep doing it. Go, baby, you got it.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? So they've been my biggest supporters, man.
Yeah, imagine how many people could have been superstars. How many children could have been superstars, but they were completely shot down by their parents, right?
Yeah, 100%.
So they don't ever make it.
It happens all the time, and it's sad. Because I remember a guy on my high school team. He was a good basketball player, but he didn't want to fucking play ball. But it was his dad's dream, you know what I mean? His dad, no, here, you're going to be doing
him,
like, just, you know what I mean? And then the kid didn't end up playing ball.
I feel like that dictates success as well. It's like, you have to, your heart's got to be in it.
Yeah.
Then
you got to.
There's people that would die for this shit. Like,
you got to nurture, you got to nurture the passion of the individual, not, what your, your goals and stuff are. So, but yeah, definitely.
So we've been kind of experienced this recently. Is just like when you're getting to these new levels, these bigger opportunities, I feel like people around you change. Mm-hmm. At that height of what was going on with your music career at that time, did you feel a lot of people around you were changing, or like in a bad or good way? Like was that something you experienced?
Yeah, a little bit, but not too crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah. Because before the music, I was an athlete and I was successful. I was like, you know what I mean? Like one of the top ballers out of the province. I played for Team Canada. Yeah. I won 2 national titles. So like I was used to people looking up to me, you know what I mean? Being like, yo, you're that guy. So then when the music came, well, I was still that guy. It just was in a different. It was just in a different. You know what I mean? But then, then of course, there's always money involved, and people think you got money and this, that, and the third. And
money in the politics.
That's
man.
it, bro.
Yeah.
But that was it. There wasn't really no funny changes. Like besides people being like, "Oh, you got money now." But I, I'm in Canada. I had national success, not international success.
Yeah.
So it wasn't like I did well. Like I toured and made money, and I did all right. But it was not what people thought.
Yeah. For sure.
You feel me?
Sure.
Yeah, but I feel like people are gonna be like misconceived by like a lot
that's
of things.
it.
Always,
the net worth probably says something. People they probably Google my net worth and was like, oh, he got money.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, Forbes can be off in a bad way or a good way.
Right,
so like,
right, exactly.
How did you choose that? Like at that time, because you said you're successful in ball. Was it around the same time when you're getting successful in music as well? Or
no, see, that's the crazy thing is like, remember I was saying I moved back to Halifax. So I fell in love with my voice before I even picked up a basketball.
Yeah.
So what happened was I'm in the new community, and I learned that I have a voice. I love singing. And then I started singing in the community, and they was like, oh, no, fuck that. We don't do that. Yeah, no. You know what I mean? I had people that made fun of me and shit.
Wait, in which community?
Back in Halifax.
Oh, really?
Yeah, in my community I grew up in, Uniacke Square. But a couple people made fun of me, and I was like, but I used that as like, all right, what do you? I studied them, like, what do you guys do? What do you love? And they were all ball players. So I started playing basketball. I'm like, I'm gonna do what you do, but better.
Why, are they just naturally taller in Halifax?
Nah, bro. It's just like it was basketball, football. It's just all black communities. You know what I mean?
Oh,
and that's
okay,
all.
enough,
like that's what we were doing.
Yeah.
It was just there was no soccer. No one played. Like I was a skateboarder when I moved back out, and like I skateboard down. No, we don't do that here.
Really?
You know what I mean? No, ain't no skateboarding around.
So it's just getting shut down by everything.
It was like so I'm in a new environment, and I'm like, fuck. All right, so I'm going to do what you guys love, and I made it a point to play basketball and figure out, because all the cool guys, they had the cool varsity jackets and shit, and I'm like, all right, cool, all right, I see what it is.
Yeah.
So that's why I focused on that, but real talk, I was like literally knew that music, I was going to do that one day the whole time. Sure. You know what I mean? So I came back to it way later.
But it's a small community out there in Halifax?
I mean, Halifax is growing, but like...
What's the population out there?
It's like a million. I think we just hit 1 million.
Oh, okay.
The whole city.
Still
I think so.
Like,
it's still small,
how big is it? It's big? I don't know.
Halifax?
Yeah.
It's not...
honestly,
it's not huge, but it's like...
And is there a major city there?
That is the major city in the province.
Yeah, literally, Halifax
Yeah,
is the
Halifax.
major city.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
You sound like an American.
Bro, I don't know, bro. I don't even know
your own country.
Yo, that's what I'm saying. I don't even know my own country, bro. It's crazy.
Yeah, you ever seen those videos of the guy that goes around and asks Americans like, where's this place? And they're like, I don't know, in China.
Well, they're saying Canada?
No,
Or just like,
no, like they don't know. They don't even know their own country.
Oh, they don't know their own
They don't
country.
even know what
Yeah,
places
like,
are in their own
they just
country.
know
Yeah.
their surrounding, their box.
Yeah, man. Shout out to America.
Yeah.
But yo, realistically,
I don't want to talk shit because at one point we got to go there and do our business.
Realistically,
Right,
bro,
right.
no one travels in Canada. Like, I don't hear anybody saying, "Yeah, I'm going to fucking." I don't know, bro.
Okay,
like
but
any
no,
other province other than BC and
That's
Toronto.
the problem, though. And I was just like, it's so weird. Canadians don't travel their own country,
No, that's true.
and it's because we
Because-
have a lot of nice stuff to see.
Yeah, it's a beautiful country.
Like all of BC, right?
yeah,
but
it's
BC 's
beautiful. The
gorgeous.
whole
But
country,
BC
man.
Newfoundland, even so, Halifax, Nova
Yeah,
Scotia,
Nova Scotia,
all
the Atlantic Ocean, like
Yeah,
there's
man.
beautiful spots all throughout this country, even up north. Like, but it's just like to us, it's like
it's
there's
here.
nothing.
So
There's nothing there unless
Yeah.
you're in like the mega cities like Toronto, Montreal,
Edmonton and
Vancouver.
stuff,
Or
yeah.
it's like what else are you gonna see? The woods. You know what I mean? 'Cause
That's what
there's
I'm
so much
saying.
land.
Yeah.
well, then I
You know what
guess
but
you
it's
gotta
beautiful
like the
though. You
outdoor.
can, you
But
can
that's the
explore.
thing. The Rockies
That's the
and stuff.
beautiful
like,
part about it. Getting that
Yeah.
good fresh air and going
Yeah.
into these places that are just like untouched in some places up north. It's like, yo, that's you know what I mean. That's that one day they're gonna be invading that
Yeah,
land
no,
because
for sure.
we
For
have
sure.
so much of it is in abundance. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
man. Like you ever been up north? Like even in Muskoka, you've been to Muskoka, I'm guessing. Right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, for
Bro,
sure.
so when you wake up in the morning and you go
It's
outside,
gorgeous, man.
yo,
Yeah.
the crispness of the
What you
air.
did, I'd be down. Like, what'd you do? The thing when we
Oh, I portaged. Then I went to Algonquin Park and I did
Okay.
like a portage for
What's
a
a
couple
portage?
of days.
I don't.
A portage is basically when you do like when you canoe across the lake to a destination to camp,
Okay.
and then you hike with the canoes up to
Oh,
another
okay.
destination.
Gotcha.
Basically, I think I did like I don't know, like 30, 40 kilometers of canoeing and treading. Like it
Oh,
was
sick.
crazy. It
But
was
it's
actually
beautiful
insane.
though, right? Like
Oh,
when
it
you
was
get in
amazing.
touch with the
Yeah, it was
the
amazing.
earth, and it's
Yeah,
just
it
like
was
yeah,
amazing.
these you know.
Yeah.
I
No,
love
for
it up
sure.
north.
For sure.
It's
Yeah.
spiritual. It's spiritual,
Yeah,
and
man.
I tell them all the time because it's like I always try to put things in like in comparison to life. So when I was on the canoe and my back was starting to like hurt and like I was like shit, I don't know if I'm gonna make it. I had like 14 kilometers more to go.
Word. Yeah, yeah.
But then at this one point, I was like, yo, I have to make it there or else I'm not gonna make it there.
Exactly.
So I just put my head down and I was rowing and rowing.
That's
and rowing.
kind of like life, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's kind of
And
like
then
you said. Yeah.
Once I got there, it was the most like accomplished feeling.
Mm-hmm.
The fact that I didn't give up, and then I was like, like that trip taught me a lot about just again. I don't want to sound corny, but just not giving up on things.
Right. Yeah.
That's why, like, even you talking about you coming and circling back and doing music again and taking it seriously, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
it's inspiring.
Yeah, bro.
Because like there's no such time where you should like throw in the towel and say it's over.
Especially in the music business, because like
Yeah.
that's the thing that the one thing that attracted me most to music.
Yeah.
And in those times when I was deciding basketball, and I
Yeah.
was like, okay, well, I love this one more. I love basketball too, but I can't play that forever. I could
This you
music.
can
I
do
can live
forever.
forever. No, even when I'm gone, I can live forever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
facts.
You feel me? As long as people like, got ears and you can play, you can press play.
That's crazy,
You're gonna
yeah.
be alive
That's crazy.
forever. You
Yeah,
feel
that's
me?
Actually, that's crazy.
That was one of the biggest attraction I had to music. Is like, yo,
It's
I'm gonna
crazy
be
too.
able
I
to
think
be
about
heard.
it. Like even like someone like Drake, bro. His music is being played all over the world right now. That's crazy. His voice is everywhere, bro.
Yeah.
That's fucked to me.
Yeah,
you know?
that's it's awesome, though, bro. Like that's what like, I mean, that's what we kind of dream about, but it's kind of scary though.
That
when
is
you think
scary,
it's
too,
sca-
though.
it's like that shit freaks me out. Like to
Yeah.
be that,
famous.
yeah, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying?
So that wasn't your goal when you were coming up.
Of course, it still is.
Yeah.
I want everybody to know the fuck I am.
Yeah.
Who doesn't? Like if you ain't in this to fucking win, then
Yeah.
don't do it. Like I want to, you know what I'm saying? But it's scary as hell.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I hear you saying.
But
still.
you know, like you have to prepare yourself throughout that journey for that. For if that does happen, are you going to be prepared mentally?
Did you
know what I
feel like at that time you were? If that
Yeah.
did happen, you
Yeah,
were
I had,
ready?
like because of the basketball, bro. I had the great train, like not media training, but I literally did interviews after every other game, like you know what I mean. So I was like preparing myself to how to handle like the media, the press, the this, the that. So yeah, definitely had in my mind. Okay, yeah, even now today, if Jay-Z called and I'm ready to say what's up, and I ain't
think
gonna
you're
be
ready or
scared.
no?
Ain't no jitters.
What if Jay-Z called me?
No, I'm saying you ready. Are you ready for that international success?
Says,
To be honest with you, like no. I'm
No.
not. I'm not.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm not
that's-
gonna sit here and say and
yeah.
lie and say yeah. I'm not.
yeah,
I'm the type to turn everything into like a joke.
yeah, yeah.
Right? That's just the type of person I am.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So like if someone tries to test me, I'll flip it back on them in like a comedic way.
Yeah.
Right. But sometimes I feel like I say too much, and then that can fire back at me.
I got you.
And because it's the media, like you gotta be on your A game with that shit.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd be ready for that. I mean, I guess that's what a PR team is.
Yeah, that's why.
Like you've
that's
had PR, right? Obviously?
Yeah, I've had PR. I've never had media training. I've had the light one, like just read over this and whatnot. But like I said, I had practice. But I guess at the end of the day, like who's really ready for that kind of success too?
No,
like especially
I guess
like
you don't know until
you're in it, man. You can look at, but it's because it destructs a lot of people, bro. Like you think about it, it's hard to like you know what I'm saying. There's been a lot of people that have self-destructed because of that much success.
Yeah, 100%.
You feel me? So you really got to be mentally strong. You got to have good people around you and people that love you and support you and won't let you fucking fail.
Yeah,
you feel me?
It's crazy too, cause like even like when I hear stories like people meeting Drake, some people say, oh, he's such a nice guy, and some people say, oh, he's rude and whatever. And I'm just taking in like, not everybody's having a good day all the time. You know what I'm saying?
No,
so
understandable,
at the end of the day, like you can't please everybody. So like I like if you catch them on a bad day, like you don't even know what you're gonna do. Like
yeah, exactly.
And then you get into the whole topic about selling your soul for fame and shit.
Oh, fuck.
Why'd you say that? Why'd you say it like that?
No, because just
you sell your soul?
No, I mean, well, you think about it. I've never I had a bad contract, so maybe is that selling my soul?
To a record label, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So,
but you're gonna get that anyway.
But it's I feel like, but it's like any contract. It's like what, unless it's like unless you're in like an environment where it's just bad and it's evil surrounding it.
Yeah.
But I've always been a good judge of character, and I've been able to, I know certain people. I can read people's energy, so I don't think I've sold my soul.
Yeah.
I've signed contracts, but
I
haven't looked at somebody and been like, that's the devil. And then said, okay.
There's a lot of conspiracies on the music industry.
Yeah, of course, bro.
People talk about like the type of energy that they feel when they're surrounded by big stars, right?
Mm-hmm.
I know a few times where I've been around celebrities and like you just feel like this. I don't know.
I feel like that's in your head though.
No, that's the thing though. It probably is in your head because you see these people on TV and stuff all the time.
Right.
And then when they come around, you're like, what the fuck am I seeing? Is this real or?
Yeah.
You're almost brainwashed because you're just looking through a screen all the time.
Yeah,
right?
you always just it's just you're so infatuated with the glam of it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then when you rub shoulders with them, it's like, oh, you're human.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's great. And you're cool. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, for real. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you don't mind touching on it, like even like record labels, like knowing, because you've been through it, is that something that you would recommend to an upcoming artist? I know every situation is different, but like your experience, like how was that? If you don't mind touching on it.
I mean, for me, if I knew what I knew now, then I would have maybe done things a little bit different. But everybody's situation is different. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for me at the time, I needed that infrastructure. I needed that, the label thing of it because I came into the game late. I was like 26 when I started, you know what I mean? So it was like a lot of artists.
Making me feel like old.
No, but I'm just saying a lot of artists like start when they're 15, 16, 17 and so I needed the Tony Sal's and the CP and the Kuya, the EMI and the Fontanas to tell me those songs that were gonna be great that I didn't like, but they were great.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I needed that kind of direction at the time because I was just jumping in head first. You know what I mean? Wet behind the ears, and didn't know anything about the business. So it's like I would the advice I give like the younger artists is just like take your time and don't jump at the first carrot that somebody dangles in front of your face.
Yeah,
you feel me? You just take your time.
I feel like a lot of people. That's what a lot of people do as well, because they're just eager.
You know what? There's been a lot of recent cases where people are kind of realizing that they're worth more than what they're being offered.
That's right. Yeah.
Like for example, we were talking like Dom. Do you know who Dom Valley is? You ever heard of Dom
I've
Valley?
heard of him. Yeah.
Yeah. So he's kind of coming up right now. He's more of a TikTok like star per se.
Yeah.
I remember seeing something about like he was offered $1 million in his first contract, and he just said like, it's not the right time.
Yeah,
and I feel like I'm worth more. So
yeah, that's smart. Like that's knowing your worth and knowing yourself. You know what I mean? And that's why at the time for me, I was like, you know, and it's crazy because I'm still like doing it.
Yeah.
But at the time, it was like, okay, first opportunity, let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Because I was like, I had success, and I gave up on an NBA dream. Like, I stopped playing professional basketball in France, and I was like, all right, man, if I stay over here for 5 more years, shit, I might get called to one tryout, but that's like 5 more years. Like, you know what I mean? So I was like, at the end of that road, and then I came into the music, and it's like, all right, so whatever's cracking, I'm in, because I got to catch up.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it was like my example is a little different than like the younger artists coming into to the game.
I feel like we're like nowadays too, everybody's kind of educated on to be cautious with record labels too. Back then, like especially in the 90s, bro, like you know what I mean? Like no one really knew like how record labels really deal with people. Now it's like everybody knows, heard the stories of like all these people, all these artists that just got their music stolen or whatever. Like you know what I mean?
No, but it's not even just that. It's like you literally have a record label right here. Like your phone is your record label.
Yeah, technology.
That's true.
Is
But back
able
then,
to do things.
but that's the thing, man. And it's crazy. I saw on Much Music Instagram posted.
Is it recent?
Yeah, recently. Prince said something about, you know, how the labels they're going to change. Like Prince was saying this back then, how like the labels are going to be no longer at some point. Like it's going to,
sure.
And that's why it's shifting to that, and that's why independence is like the biggest thing now. Like a lot of these, they have to be a partner instead of just signing to a label these days, or else you're like you said, you're going to get shelved or they're going to own you for life.
But I feel like what the record labels are doing wrong now. What they were doing right before was they were getting artists that were nobodies and giving them the resources to become superstars.
Right.
Now you can't get a record deal unless you're pulling some sort of numbers. So how do they, like, you know what I mean? Like it's just they're not really changing the culture. They're just riding the wave. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah, so it's too long of a wave too, because it hasn't really changed in the past like, I don't know, decade maybe. Like it's just been the same. It's always about like Instagram followers.
Yeah,
like,
it's a numbers. It's a numbers game. Numbers are the thing that everybody looks for. Yeah. But it's like the way I like, for me, it's just like, man, work harder than everybody else. Like the numbers at the end of the day, like, because that number, like for instance, like that number can change overnight.
Yeah.
Straight up.
Like
anytime.
That number can change overnight. So if you just keep working hard, right? It's not like, I'm not like, you know, people get stressed out like, man, I don't have enough followers, and then they'll see somebody else, man, how they get the blue check and this, that, and third. No, bro, they work hard. It don't matter. They might have less followers than you, but they worked hard. They figured it out. So figure that shit out.
Exactly.
You feel me? So it's just work hard. You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I mean, but then there's some times where people get put into position.
No, of course,
right?
Man, like, they get this cosign,
and it's like,
but sometimes that's paid for though. A lot of times that's paid for though, right?
Some people just have a horseshoe up their fucking.
There's still a pay to play though. There's still a pay to.
I literally say that all the time.
There's
That's
still a pay-to-play factor in the industry that money talks. Of course. You know what I mean?
Speaking of that, I actually have a funny story. So back when I was like, I don't know, maybe 12, 13 years old, that's when I started kind of taking music a little bit more seriously. I hadn't been to like recording studios or anything like that. But I was talking to a guy that hooked me up with another guy. Pause. That's not what I mean. You looked at me weird when I said that. But yeah, whatever. I ended up meeting this other guy, and he said that he was your cousin.
Okay, that's probably true because I have a lot of fucking cousins. Bro.
But here's the thing, though. So he goes, this was like, I think 2010. He goes, yeah, I heard some of your music. Like it's really good. You know, I'm working with Jordan right now. And I got a lot of connections, and like I'm working with OVO 40 and this and that. So, you know, me being like a young kid, I was like all hyped up, like, oh no way, like this guy can like do things for me, right?
Yeah.
So he gave me this number, and he said, yo, this is 40's number, give him a call. So I was like, all right. So I gave this guy a call, you know, again, me being 13 years old, and I'm talking to this guy, and he kind of sounds like 40. So I'm like, all right, let's try to. But no, I literally sounded like a chipmunk. I was a kid, you know? So it's like they knew I was a kid.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, you know, if you take your music seriously, he's like, I'll work with you, but like I'm gonna have to charge you like, I don't know, like maybe like 10 bands, 15 bands, like something like. He's like, but you gotta ask your parents though. But I'm like, and then he stopped sounding like 40.
What was my cousin's name?
I can't remember now.
Because I'm like, hold up.
Yeah, man. Like I don't know if they try to pull one on me. You know what I'm saying? Because then he's like, ask your parents, and then because obviously, like, I'm not gonna have that type of cash at the time,
but
right?
but you know what though? That's the thing. The fucked up thing I hate about the fucking social media too, bro, is like getting all of these fucking like, yo, man, I know this guy. I'm here. I work for Billboard. I want to do this every minute. It's like, but you got to give me this. You got, bro, that shit. Like, bro, I don't pay attention to that shit, bro. Don't like, I don't fall for that shit, bro. I know it's pay to play, but it's like, yo, bro, work on your fucking craft, bro. Like, I'm gonna be doing this until I'm gone, and then like I'll never be able, like one of those guys that, oh, I gave, you know what I mean? Like I did this and gave you this because it's just about what you do, bro. Like fuck, like trying to get that cosign. Like I'm at the age where I don't fuck a cosign. I gotta still go. Feel me?
See, that I'm trying to be like you now at this age.
Yeah,
you know what I'm
that's what I'm saying. Yeah, just do it, bro. Like, don't like. What did Jay-Z say in that interview? He's like, yo, he's not on nobody else's time. I can't watch what anybody else is doing and worry about what the fuck their time is. Yeah, it's like, yo, this is not. I like this. This is what I want to do right now, and keep. If this is your passion, you're gonna keep doing it. Yeah, and then when people are ready to digest it and accept it and appreciate it, then that's gonna be your time.
Ladies and gentlemen, we take a quick break to bring you a sponsored ad courtesy of Exotic Snacks GTA. Don't let your sweet tooth go unsatisfied. With a massive selection of rare and imported chips, chocolates, and sodas from around the globe, they have you covered. Head on over to exoticsnacksgta.com or visit one or two locations in the Greater Toronto area and shop now. Do you feel like music's like an innate ability, though? I know, like, obviously you can be taught instruments and
I mean, it's gotta. I think you can be taught. It's. See, you're right. You're asking the wrong guy because I don't play a fucking instrument. This is my only instrument. You know
that
what I
is
mean?
an instrument though. So
it's still an instrument, but like for me, it was just like I fucking fell in love with it. Yeah, you know, and I wouldn't change the way that it went. You know what I'm saying? Because I journeyed to it to myself and found it. Instead of my parents, they couldn't put me in fucking piano lessons or hockey or guitar lessons because we didn't have a paper. We were living in the fucking hood, check to check. You know what I mean? So for me, finding it that way for me is like even better too. Like it's just like, all right, it's in me because I want it to be in me. You want it to be in you. You know what I'm saying? So because sometimes you can like. There's so many talented people, like musicians and things like that never want to do it because of what we talked about earlier. That because of that mom or dad going, here, you're going to lessons, you're going to this. Yeah. And then they struggle with, I want to, but nah. You know, and then that's when the passion fades, and it's like you gotta let people just find their own way.
Own thing. 100%.
Yeah, I feel like that's not the only thing that's holding people back too now. It's like even. Because, we get discouraged sometimes when we see numbers are low. Like, you work... people don't understand how hard it is to come into the studio and work on these songs and spend countless hours on them and come back and revise and...
it's a lot of time.
And then you have to go find another job to pay for the mixing.
It's a lot of time, right? Bro. Yep.
And then...
Even as the creative process, it's not easy to, like, get this out of you. You get what I'm saying? So, it's exhausting. So
it is. It really is exhausting. And... That's gonna separate the ones that, the real from the ones that are gonna be weak, the strong from the weak. You know what I mean? Because it's like, bro, I'm 43, dog. Yeah, I'm still fucking going like I started because I still think I got 2,000 more songs in me that are gonna outdo the last fucking 2,000. You feel me? Like that's
the right mentality.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's just like this is what I'm gonna do forever.
You're 44?
43. I'll be 44 this year.
You look like you're 30, like 4.
Well, we said it on the podcast. I was about to say don't tell nobody, but
yeah, damn. I mean, we can cut it out if you really want that.
Hell no, I'm proud of my age, man.
That's crazy. So when Magic came out, what was the biggest hit again? Like the biggest
Like Magic was the biggest one. Okay. As far as the numbers, like in radio play, but You Can Have It All was the one that was the first one that I put out that really
that pushed you to the next one, right?
because that at the time it was like a lot of like 4 on the floor, like really high tempo records that were hitting the radio, and You Can Have It All was like a little bit laid back.
It was.
But it was the vibe too. Though.
Yeah. So like we did well with that one, and then. So those 2 records were gold in Canada at the time. So yeah, those were the 2 ones.
Yeah, I was gonna say when those came out, right? The switch in pace for working, like how did you manage to maintain, kind of the role that you were on? You know what I'm saying? Like
with the R&B?
Yeah, like what do you have to do? Because a lot of people for example, you see Jack Harlow had like What's Poppin', it came out during COVID, this and that, and then people were like, hey, there's no way this guy's topping this. So he had to come up with something quick, and he ended up coming with another one. So it's like, did you find it tough to keep up with the switch in pace, like after you started gaining traction from listeners, or
like I said earlier, at the time I didn't, because at the time it was the label and the management, like they were all making those choices as a team. So that's why I said I was fortunate at the time to have that kind of infrastructure.
Okay.
So they were making like Magic. I didn't even want to put that song on my album.
Wow.
Yeah, so
That's
at the time I had
really?
people that were making the decision. Yeah, because I was just green in the game. I didn't know nothing. Like I know a little bit more like what I want to hear myself now. Like after being working in the game for 15 years, like you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But at the time I was fortunate enough. Like shout out to Sal, shout out to Akuya, shout out to Matt Smallwood. Like these guys were. I had a team of people. Like and I was just recording. Like we were writing records. I was flying to LA, Atlanta, New York, writing with different writers and shit like that. And they were deciding like, okay, these are the singles,
So you didn't think the Magic was gonna blow like that?
Nah, it's not that. No, it's not that I didn't think it would be a good song and do well. It's just that it wasn't what I wanted to represent me at the time.
That's not what you're feeling.
You were saying before that he was kind of doing like more
I know you're saying. I know,
like more R&B. Like I had the song HD on the same album as like Magic, and that I wanted that to be my first single. Like that was my fucking, still to this day is like one of my favorite songs because that I ever wrote. Like I was in LA writing it, and at that moment when I wrote that record, I was writing it with I think Jimmy Bernay. There was a girl Smith. There was a Smith girl. I forget her first name. But anyway, we were writing that record, and that when I heard that record back in LA, I'm in Babyface's studio, his actual studio, like his Edmonds Tower, and I'm listening to that back, and I just felt a moment with myself, like, oh, okay, you sound like you. After like, because you get like, you're like, man, do I sound like, what is it? What is my sound? Like every artist goes through that. Like, what is my actual sound? Because we're always so influenced by so many other artists, and
Exactly,
we get a little bit of something from everybody, and then but at that moment I was like, oh, that's me.
That's a special moment, though.
Yeah, man.
Artists,
so that's why
really
like that was like
moment,
the song that I wanted to be my first single off the album.
Yeah,
and like it was a fucking ballad. It was like a ballad.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean?
That's crazy.
But hey, if it works, it works, man.
Yeah.
That's how it goes.
Yeah.
Right?
But
How was the reaction from that song?
I mean, it just didn't get the push at the time because remember everything then it was just like, okay, these are the 3-4 singles going to radio. These are pushing and like there's videos. We got like $30,000 budgets for the videos. We're shooting the videos at the time and everything is going. You know what I mean? And then it's like that one just gets kind of lost in the shuffle. People, I mean, fans like it. There's I still go to like some shows and they're like, yo, HD's my favorite song. I'm like, yeah, like hell, fucking yeah. That's what you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man.
Do you ever get people come up to you and say Hanging Tree's their favorite song?
Never.
Damn, that shit blew up.
Yeah, I know, right? But that shit gets some spins. I gotta fix that though.
You should just start performing it at your shows at this point.
I should drop it during my set.
Yeah, man. Might as well.
That'd be hilarious. Gotta figure that out.
Who's your inspiration in terms of artists? Like what would be your top 5?
Like oh man.
Okay, well, you want to do genres? Like we can split into genres.
It's up to you.
Because what do you like? What did you grow up listening to? Was it was hard hip hop? Like
it was the first song that I like. First introduction to hip hop for me was hip hop. Is definitely I always say hip hop raised me and R&B saved me.
I know.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like so, like King Lou, shout out to them. Like when they were showing me the breakdancing and shit and the connections and the Grassways. I Need Love by LL Cool J. So, but think about it. That was like one of the first R&B hybrid hip hop records at the time.
Yeah.
So that's where I was like, that was my introduction. So it was like hip hop. My brother had we had like Michael Jackson posters on the walls and shit, Whitney Houston and you know what I mean, James Brown. So it was like real soul and then hip hop for me and like breakdance and that culture. Like when it came down to that was like really what influenced me. But then Babyface was like the number one guy. I always call him the reason because I found that fucking CD. And after that, it was history. I just learned how to fucking, you know what I mean? I learned how to sing by that. So to me, he's a GOAT to me. He's a number one R&B songwriter of all time. That's why I stick to the R&B genre. That's my shit. That's because that's what I was influenced by and that's why I do it. But like, all like, you know, like Tina Turner, fucking I Can See That Rolling on the River. That shit, that influenced me heavy.
I keep remembering, because you're a little bit older, right? So
yeah,
like all these people are coming,
so like, but back then it was like, when I was really listening to the sounds in the 80s, that's what, you know what I mean? Like James Brown was that guy. Like I used to think James Brown was my dad because my dad looks like James Brown. So like my mom's had like a national choir or something on the you know what I mean? She used to say, I used to say, Daddy, but it was James Brown on the magazine cover and
that's
shit.
hilarious.
But yeah, like, just like that's soul shit. Like that's really what, and then moving back to Halifax, hip hop, it was just, it was the East Coast.
Yeah.
It was just nothing but, Wu-Tang, Nas, Jay, even like on Das Effects, underground stuff too, like, De La Soul, like it was just hip hop for me. Like,
how about Toronto?
Toronto?
Hip hop.
Oh, fuck yeah. I remember still to this day being pissed at Maestro, because I remember Maestro first, like one of his first shows in Halifax, not his first show, but a show in Halifax. I was just a little kid, and I was like, I'm still pissed to this day that I didn't get to go to that show. That's how I was only like 12, 13. You know what I mean? But back then.
Was he one of the first hip hop guys?
Pioneered in this shit. He was like the first rapper to, like, one of the first rappers in Canada, and so was like MCJ and Cool G, the cats where I'm from. You know what I mean? That's what, at the same time. That's why it was like, that's why he came. Like it was like a little connection of like, But him, MCJ and Cool G back then, that was like the guys that really started it off out here. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still pissed to this day. I didn't get to go to the show. But
were they like only Canada bound though, or did they?
Yeah, I mean, Maestro was.
No, I know Maestro had some hits that took off globally,
but I mean, it wasn't until like I think like, Choclair and Cardi got some deals in the States, but Maestro he had a lot of things going on with a lot of New York rappers, and really, he was worldwide, of course, internationally known. You know what I mean? As a Canadian, first like pioneer legend.
Choclair was sick, bro.
Choclair, bro.
He's gave me like Nas vibes. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. He had he has a great tone to his voice too. Yeah.
Because Organic was talking about it when we had him on the podcast. He was saying about like how, the streets like just looked at it like a rat race, and just everybody was trying to be that one guy.
Yeah,
who was coming out, and then.
I was looking at it from a different lens back then because I was playing ball. So I was just watching, you know what I mean? Like I wasn't looking at it. I was just like, oh, yo, but I knew who was hot. Like the Rascals, I knew who was hot in the game, back then, and looking at it from that lens. But now, like all of those guys that were mentioning, I know them, and we're like, kind of friends, acquaintances, you know what I'm saying? So it's just dope. Like Godfather, like fucking Maestro, he's given me advice since I started in the music game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Has been there for my whole journey, and it's still like my brother, you know what I mean? So it's just dope to be a part of that too,
What is he doing now?
He lives out in New Brunswick, and he's running a radio station.
Oh, nice.
And he wrote a kid's book that and he did an album for it that I was a part of, and it was nominated for a Juno.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, this past year. Yeah, we got a nomination, didn't win, but yeah, he's running a radio station out there. He's got his own show.
Oh.
And he's got his son lives out there, and he's doing his thing on the East Coast.
He basically just said fuck off and
he's
took off.
But he's loved everywhere he goes. You know what I mean? He's a great dude. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah, I remember. I spoke to him one time on his Instagram live because I had
a
a song that came out where I kind of referenced Backbone Slide, and then and I had him. I kept DMing him. Yo, you got to hear this. You got to hear this.
Oh, I think I see. Was it a pop? Was it? Hold on.
It was a pop track.
I think I might have seen that at some point.
Yeah, it's called Freeze.
I think I might have seen.
I'll show you it after the podcast.
I think I seen that. I remember being online and seeing like it was somebody hitting him up or something, and he posted it or something. I think
did he post it? Yeah, I think he did. There
was something. I remember seeing something. Dope.
Yeah, I hit him up a couple times, and then respectfully he messaged back like. That's the thing we don't get now from newer artists or whatever. We don't. There's no mutual respect. I've had people who I've messaged and they're just like, "Nah, bro, we can't do that for you."
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
A lot of a lot of clicks. Yeah, I get it. I've never been that kind of guy, but that's part of the game, bro. Like,
no, I know that's just how it is.
I know,
You're
and
deal
it's
with
just
people
like
that, no
and don't take it personal though.
No, I
don't ever take it personal. That's the whole. That's the thing.
Before I took it personal.
But I'm
now
saying that,
it's just like
we can never take it. That's the thing.
Yeah,
you never take it personal, but it's like. But that keeps you sharp too, because like, okay, maybe I gotta run my ship a little tighter.
For sure.
You feel me?
Yeah.
Yeah, like, all right, cool. This is how the game going. This is how I gotta do it too then.
But see that's why that's why celebrities turn out to be
Yeah,
who they are. Because they deal with so much bullshit on the way up. They gotta be like that, bro. That's why I get it. People are like, "Oh, you're so stuck up," and "Oh, you think you're the shit and you're rich," and it's like, "Yo, you don't know what they had to deal with to get here."
Mm-hmm.
Like the people in the industry are fucking cutthroat, and that's like that's something I wish that people watching all of us do work understood.
Right.
They think we just come in and we do our like music and it's all fun and games and shit and like no, for real though. Like they think we just fucking tiptoe into here and just do our shit.
So just before we get into the new stuff, I just want to ask one more question about like the past. Best and worst moments that you experienced in the music industry, if you don't mind sharing that with us.
Oh, that's a good question. Man, I think the worst moment, let's start with the worst first, but was probably being at a show and somebody throwing a beer bottle at me.
Oh, fuck.
At your head?
Yeah, it never hit me though.
Oh,
but just the fact that, you know, you're sharing a part of your passion with somebody.
Yeah.
And
wow,
whatever the fuck you did made that person that mad for them to want to throw a beer bottle at your face.
Yeah. That's just been happening a lot lately.
Yeah. You see the Cuddy shit. What just happened with Cuddy, like, that's just not cool, man. That's not cool, bro. Like, I literally, that's why it's fresh, and that's why I'm like, because man, my whole musical journey's been a beautiful time, beautiful journey, and it's not many bad moments. You know what I mean? There's been like weird shit where it's like, a girl show up to the show and was like, you don't know me. I'm like, and somebody using me, catfishing somebody. Like, there's weird shit like that. But but somebody like actually wanting to harm me because I'm singing.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? That's one of them. Best would be one of the first songs I had at radio. The first record I ever had at radio, Feeling Fine with Classified. We were on tour, my first tour with Class and Half-Life Records, and we did a show in Winnipeg, and some dude came to the show, you know, I guess he was like probably in his like mid-30s at the time, or 40 or whatever, and his mom was like dying of cancer. So we get home a couple months later, and Class gets an email. He forwards me this email from this guy, just this fan that came to the show, and was like, yo, man, thank you and Jordan for making this song Feeling Fine. You know, my mom was dying of cancer, and she made me put it on a CD and put it on the CD 11 times in a row so she could hear it all the time and made her feel good.
And just give me shivers,
that's
bro.
like, so that's the win, right? So I can't, every time that somebody asks a question like that has to be it, because it's not, bro. Like, it's like,
that's the whole point of music.
That's
really,
it, man.
Right?
You make somebody you make somebody comfortable while they're going.
Yeah.
That's
wow.
It. Yeah.
That's crazy, bro.
Yeah, that was like, you can't. It's hard to top. Even a Grammy wouldn't.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's real life.
That's really even a Grammy wouldn't top that.
That's why I started music. Was my cousin? He got paralyzed, chest down, when he was like 18, and I wrote him a song. I forgot how old I was. I think I was like 14 or whatever, and I made like his mom cry.
Right.
Like rapping it to her live.
Right.
And then from there on, I was just like, I just loved making people feel a certain way. That's why I always love getting opinions from my music. I always ask people, like, what do you think of this? Because like, I want them to like it just as much as I do. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's
of course.
Like, it's a good feeling when you get a good reaction.
Yeah. That's why we do it, man. Because it's like, yo, we can actually change people's lives with this shit.
100%.
Yeah, it's an extremely powerful tool.
Yeah, it is.
Like, if you throw on rock, like yesterday, for example, I'm only using this for an example because it happened yesterday. We were on our way back from downtown. Cause remember I told you we were shopping around for DJ Khaled?
Yep.
Shout out to Khaled.
Yeah, Khaled.
Drake did.
And God did.
And God did. Hopefully he sees it.
Yeah.
No, whatever. I just randomly was like, fuck it. I want to throw on some Metallica just for fun. And it just made me want to like go 300 kilometers an hour.
Right? Yeah.
Like it literally just takes over.
Yeah,
100%.
You know what I mean? or when you're dealing with a heartbreak and you want to put on some slow, sad R&B or
Bro, I was listening to trap.
Drake and Drive, or you know what I mean?
Right.
I was listening to trap on my first breakup, bro.
Really?
Yeah.
You had to get over it real quick, eh?
Feel better.
What was your number one go-to at that time? For what
like
track, right?
like sad song.
Probably Big Sean. I don't fuck with you. For
No. Sad song was Midget Jordan, and then trap song was Love Sosa.
Love
By
song.
Cheek.
Oh, wow. He's crying to love song. I know.
That's crazy.
That's hilarious.
Love Salsa. What the?
I
What?
don't know, bro.
Cheeky.
When did that even come out?
Oh,
That's been a
I just love that
was
track.
that 2000, when was that? Like 15, 16?
maybe.
2015, 16?
I was in.
Why do I feel like it's even?
No, I was like, I think like early high school. I think it was grade 9. I don't even know, like 2014.
Yeah, like 14. Yeah, something around there.
Yo, time literally flies.
Yeah,
It actually scares me.
Time goes.
Yeah.
Flies.
Before we wrap up, we just want to talk a little bit about what you're doing right now. So what do you have? What do you have coming next for you?
Oh man, I just dropped an album last year. Almost at 1 million streams, Ralph album.
Nice.
Which that was like the album. Thank you. Yeah, so the album's almost at 1 million streams. But yeah, that album I did. It took me like about 4 years to do it. And then Red Eye Project I put out this year, a 5-song EP with my boy Josh Grant. It's like some like lo-fi, jazzy, hip hop vibes, R&B. So, and I'm working on an album right now. And I was saying like I'm gonna come back into some pop lanes and touch into that, the Caribbean side and stuff like that. Just like some vibes. But I'm working on an album, almost done. Literally, probably gonna spend another month on it and then drop a single.
What's your background?
I'm Scotian first and foremost. People are like, well, okay, Scotian. By way of Jamaican maroon descent, Irish, Scottish. So I'm mixed, but Scotian.
There's so many Jamaican Irish mixes. I hear about that all the time.
Yeah.
Is that how you know Twy? Are you guys?
Well, no, his mom's a Bills. My grandmother's a Bills, so we're like like third cousins, third.
Oh,
yeah.
dope. Okay,
yeah. We're our families are related. You know what I mean? When Scotians are related, like. You have, a lot of Scotians out there. That's why I said one of my cousins, probably was one of my cousins because I got a lot of them. We have big families from where we're from. Big families and what I mean?
You close with all of them or no?
Nah, it's hard to be. It's hard when you got like 200 cousins. How you gonna know all
that much for real?
Yeah, bro. When I'm saying big families, I'm talking about big
200 cousins?
Yeah, like think about it. My dad had about 15, 16 siblings. They all had about 4 or 5 kids who all had about 4 or 5 kids who all had about 4 or 5 kids.
How about how many brothers and sisters?
I got I have 2 brothers. I have one brother that passed, God rest his soul, a couple years back, a year and a bit back. And also my other brother lives out in Regina, Saskatchewan on a reserve, and I have an older sister as well.
Okay.
Yes, but I'm the baby.
You ever go to the reserve?
Yeah, I was just out there. For 10 days, about 2 weeks ago. Yeah, I was out there. It's awesome, man. My nieces are flourishing. They're doing awesome. My niece she just got a scholarship. She's going to University of Saskatchewan, playing volleyball. She's going to be an Olympian. It's awesome out there. I've been traveling out there and in the native community out there. It's just been like home for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like another part of home.
It's kind of like it's a spiritual.
Yeah, bro. I go out there. I do sweats out there.
That's
when when we lose people in our family, like they'll set up a sweat and like, oh, you're out here. Okay, let's get you in and get some spiritual healing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So
what is that? If you don't mind me asking.
Sweat is like it's kind of like their church. I can't exactly say that. But it's like they'll take you they'll go there and that's where they'll go and they'll do their their songs. They'll sing their old like thousands of years old spiritual songs, and they'll give thanks to the spirits, and they'll ask the spirits to come in and kind of heal whatever's going on, but they'll talk to the people, individuals, why you're here, what made you come here today, so you'll share your problems. It's kind of like a spiritual kind of therapeutic type thing, but while you're in extreme heat.
Exactly.
Oh wow,
extreme.
Oh, so that's why.
You guys go in.
Yeah, it's like a thing. It's like they'll do it. It's like low to the ground. They put the hole in the ground.
They burn the sage and all that stuff.
Yeah, burn the sage, sweet grass, and you know what I mean. Tobacco. They'll give tobacco to the ancestors. And,
what's the purpose of the heat? Out of curiosity.
It's like I don't know the exact purpose. It's just it's like I think it just cleanses you at the same time because it's taking your toxins at the same time working on your mental health.
Yeah,
makes sense.
You know what I mean? So it's like a boost cleanse. Like it's like mental health and your toxin, your body getting cleansed as well.
It's like being like. Have you ever been in a sauna?
I know what you're saying.
But it's like it's a lot hotter.
Yeah, I know that.
And there's and they set it up and like you have to do it in shifts. There's like you stay in for so long. There's a few songs. I think there's like 3 songs each time. Or 2 or 3 songs. 3 songs total or 4 songs total. But like I was in there with these the first time I did. I've done done it twice. The first time I did it, there's like an 11-year-old in there, and they didn't leave the whole time. I had to get out of there after every shift. It was like, this shit is not easy. And they tell, exactly, right? And they tell you, like, if you get too hot, get low to the ground. You know what I mean? You have to lay it on the ground, like trying to get the coolness from the earth. Yeah. So it's like a really, it's crazy, bro. It's a dope experience, man.
Bare feet, right?
Oh yeah, you just go in the shorts. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, dope. Yeah,
it's something about being grounded. I don't know.
Yeah, no, man.
Like I've wanted to try that.
Yeah, it's awesome. I would really tell anybody that ever wanted to try it, just do it. Like, because it's so welcoming, and it's like you get to heal in a different kind of way, you know, because like religion can get tricky with some people, you know what I'm saying?
Course,
but like for me, that's my family, so I'm like, of course, you guys I'm however you guys doing it, I'm doing it too, because that's my family, you know what I mean?
Of course.
And it's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's really beautiful.
Are you religious?
Yeah, I believe in God. You know, I've been, you know, raised as, you know, a Christian.
Yeah.
And definitely believe in God. You know, there's definitely, you know, I studied religion in university, and that's when I kind of was like, you know, you start thinking, but you know, religion is, you know, set in place for the higher belief of something.
For sure,
so
exactly.
it's, you know, definitely,
sure.
you know, there's definitely a God. I believe that.
God, energy, whatever it may be. Yeah. That seems to be like the more popular thing now. It's like just the whole sense of the energy and healing stones and all that stuff.
It's crazy you say the stones, because that literally my girl just bought a stone yesterday, and like literally, bro, put it on my head today. Like, cause I've never been into that, but like I've just recently read Drake and his interest in it too. Like,
really?
The stone, these things are a really powerful thing. Like, if you get the right crystals and shit like that.
My sister's heavy into that. So.
My girl put it on my forehead, like literally put it on my forehead today, and I'm like, I felt some shit. I'm like, yo, what are you doing? And it's like, remember that stone I bought yesterday? I'm like, oh. Like, and it just relaxed me instantly. Yeah. Like, instant. Like, I was just like, whoa. And then she left it on my forehead. I didn't even know it was still on my forehead. I was laying down. I got, like, into it.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, that's why I'm like, that's crazy that you...
shit,
yeah, but and I literally told her, like, okay, so I'm in. So how do we get more? And let's figure out how this shit works.
It's mad expensive, though, now.
I know. Bro, I'm looking at this
popular.
one little piece like this, $150. I'm like, what? $150 for this little piece.
This is the only thing. This is so off topic. I love it.
No, but it's
hilarious.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
This is what made me question religion. Is the fact that everything gets turned into a business. It's honestly upsetting because when I went to Italy and I got to see the Vatican City and stuff, it's just everything is sold. Yeah, like they're selling everything, right? And people are buying rosaries, like, but. It's not the rosary that's going to heal you, right? Yeah. It's you believing and you living through your beliefs and so on and so forth that's going to heal you. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So now that people found out that crystals have been part of healing people.
Healing power,
Yeah, like a healing power, sorry. It's just become a huge business now. And everything is extremely overpriced. Extremely.
I know, and that's why it's tricky, like, getting into that, because it's like, all right, man. But then I felt that shit on my forehead today, and I'm like, all right, man. Maybe there's something going on with, you know? Maybe there is some something.
Even the Chinese, bro, the Chinese and Japanese, they know something, man.
Yeah.
The way they're able to, like, heal people's...
Yeah. I've been thinking about that shit, too, because it's like, not even that. Like, because I've been, like, I've been on TikTok, and the way they eat, you ever see, like, some of the, what is it, ASMR?
Oh, mukbang.
Yeah, but it's like, how they eat so much at one time. Like, they're literally, like, eating a whole fucking big ass
noodles?
thing of noodles, 3 eggs, and go. I'm like, yo, I couldn't fit that shit.
I know what you're saying.
But they live long as fuck.
Yeah. A lot of them do stuff.
Yeah, but the people who do mukbangs, I don't think they're like...
No, bro, the Asian culture lives long as fuck. And
I know they do, but I don't think it's those ones that live long because they're doing that shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No,
like,
I feel you.
The people who live long probably drink like ginger tea all day and meditate.
Know, but I want to know.
It's like the monks. The monks, for example, they're the ones that live long.
It's also natural food too, bro.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
North America, we're all eating fucking shit.
It's all processed shit. It's garbage.
Yeah, it is.
But
it's horrible.
Anyways, before we get way too deep into something,
no, it's good, bro.
We're getting the podcast, but man, thank you so much for coming. This was a great experience talking to you.
You already know. Thank you for having me.
You want to let any of your fans know anything, upcoming events, any upcoming things?
Oh yeah, just look out for new music, man. I'm gonna try to drop a new single. before the fall, definitely. So August, September, I'll be with a new single, and I'm gonna drop an album before the end of the year. Working hard.
Looking forward to hear that.
Thank you, brother.
It's the comeback, man.
Yes, sir. Let's go.
All right, thanks for coming. Appreciate it.
Thank you, bro.
All right.
Thanks.